All right, so settling into Virasana, if you can, using either two blocks or a couple blankets or your bolster. And as you arrive into your seat, begin to current your exhaling breath down through your body. All right, so already, kind of right away, diving into practice the moment you sit down, starting to look for, ask for, seek the Ujjayi pranayam and really current a nice long exhale down through your body. So the Ujjayi pranayam is a really beautiful, very easy, simple practice to find a sense of grounding, settling, arriving. And then, of course, as we continue from last week to work with the balancing and the harmonizing of the autonomic nervous system, we know that the exhale helps to current energy down through our body. And it also helps to bring a little tone, a little stimulation to that parasympathetic aspect, the resting, digesting aspect of the nervous system. So as you're settling in, notice, sense, feel that deep, long, slow exhale move down through your body. Notice the little restriction, right? Your vocal cords are hugging in and around the breath. It's a little squeeze, little compression. And as you are breathing in this way, take a moment just to simply scan left side body. Simply notice, scan right side body. Notice your front body and notice your back body. Notice your left side sitting bone grounding down and your right side sitting bone grounding down. And then as you anchor, tether your tail without tucking it under or pushing it back, as you tether your tail earthwards, feel how your next inhale floats through your lungs, your arms, bringing them out, open, and up. Now keep the arms up as you exhale and just settle down a little further. And see if you can begin to feel both the inhale, this rising, this reaching without uprooting, and the exhale currenting down through you. And then as you're ready, go a little side to side, inhaling one way and exhaling the other way. And begin to really hone in to left side body and right side body. See if you can notice not just the physical body, but the energy body of left and right side. Tuning in a little bit to Ida and Pingala nadis. Tuning into the peripheral nerves that move from the central nervous system, brain stem, spinal cord, and then nerves coming out through the whole body from the center to the periphery, all the way to fingertips, to toes. And as you go side to side, see what you can notice about who you are. We are made up of thousands and thousands of nadis, energy pathways. Some are very subtle and some are gross, right? More physical, like your actual nerves or your blood vessels, your veins, your arteries. Now take it once more to each side. Open your jaw. Lift your jaw joints straight up to your skull. And then inhale, reach up again, but ground down through the sitting bones. And as you exhale, firmly push your hands in towards each other. Go to your crown, your third eye, and your heart. We'll sing Om 3 times together. Please let your awareness focus, especially on the exhale and making the sound as long as you can, and then really hang out a little longer in the M, that sound, and the space after it. It gets jarbled over Zoom, so that is what it is. But see if you can really find it for yourself, this long, long humming of the sound. The vagus nerve that's helping to regulate stress and bring the relaxation response loves when we chant Om. Okay, so exhaling your breath all the way to empty. And receiving your inhale. Make your way to hands and knees or fisted hands, forearms, whichever one is most suitable for your wrists this morning. And as you come to whatever version of table you feel called to take, we're going to start to move into Vidalasana. So noticing what it is to inhale, expand, move out into the world around you as you look up. And exhale, condense into yourself as you round through your spine, curling up. Now keep moving like this at your own pace. Keep your jaw parted. Keep the root of your tongue wide and relaxed. And really cultivate the Ujjayi. And especially that exhaling aspect to tone and hug and stimulate that relaxation response in the body. Know that when you inhale, it's the solar energy. When you exhale, it's the lunar energy. We need both. We want to have both in equilibrium, in balance, and in harmony. And now the next time that you move through the exhale, come back to neutral. Feel what neutral is. So look down between the spot right between your thumbs. Spread your fingers really wide. Reach the crown of your head forward and your tail back. Press down through the tops of the feet, shins, and knees to the point where you start to feel your inner thighs rise up. Pelvic floor in the center rise up, and the deep low belly pit come into you and up. And once you feel that, float your left leg up. So toes and knee are pointing down. And keep drawing your belly pit up so that you don't collapse into the right hip. Now bend your left elbow, push your left hand down and away from you. Slide that left shoulder blade down your back and float your right arm up. So a little contralateral helps to bring harmony through the Ida, Pingala nadis, the two main supporting nadis for the central Sushumna nadi in the centermost aspect of you. Now, as you're ready, exhale and curl in. This is another rounding. As you inhale, look up. Toes and knee pointing down. You're wrapping that left pelvic half internally. Exhale, curl it in. Now you're going to keep moving at your own pace, keeping the ujjayi as long as you can. And if it's okay for you, perhaps you pause a little longer with that exhale and you squeeze in just a little more. Again, a little toning to vagus nerve and to this stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system. And the next time that you exhale and curl in, stay. Keep pushing that left hand down and away from you. Keep pressing your right foot, shin, and knee down and away behind you. And then let it go. Good. Reestablish. Pushing hands through the tail. Tail reaches back behind you. Perineum rises. Groins are hollow as your belly pit draws in and up. Left foot, shin, and knee pushes down. You float up out of the left hip and the right leg rises. Bend your right elbow. Push that right hand down and away from you. Float your left up. Again, with the right toes and knee pointing down, you fly through the sunbird, Surya Churya, the one who flies one pointedly into the light. And in the times we're living in, pretty divisive times, let us become sunbirds, the ones who stay fixated on light, on truth, on love, on dispelling ignorance and fear. And let's find it through the balancing of our own system. Inhale, expand solar energy. Exhale, condense lunar energy. Be very mindful not to collapse in joints. Collapsing in joints takes us away from that harmony of prana flowing through us in the way that it's really meant to. So a couple more. And the next time that you curl in, stay, squeeze, 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 and let it go. Open your knees wide, come to the tips of your fingers, bend your elbows down to the earth, push your hands down and away, start to glide yourself back into an active Balasana child's pose. So your knees are nice and wide, your head can be up or forehead down on the floor. You're pushing your fingertips down and away, float your palms, your underarms, and your armpits up. Now, gently, your big toes are touching, right? Just the sides of them are touching. Gently pulse the tops of your feet, shins, and knees down and in towards each other. And if you see, I'm doing this, and it's kind of giving me a little lift up through my upper legs, my pelvis. So I'm just kind of pulsing down and in. Now this is active, meaning I'm pushing my hands down and away, reaching my tail back, and I'm pretty clearly drawing inner thighs up, pelvic floor up, belly pit in and up. Why do we return to these over and over again? Because we lose them over and over again. And this is like earth stability in us. It's the foundation of our body. We need it. We need it for an open heart, for clarity of mind. Good. Now, when you're ready, this more active variation of child's pose, you're going to push down and inhale, come back up to table. Bring your knees so that they're only as wide as the hip joints are wide. Curl your toes under and exhale, long exhale, downward facing dog. And let's do a little doggy dancing. I've got 2 dogs at my house this week with the family visiting instead of 1. And I'm observing the way these dogs not just dance within themselves, but dance around each other, trying to figure out, well, who are you? How can we relate? You know, one's a puppy and wants to play, and one's kind of an old, calm, peaceful lady. She doesn't want to play. And it's just watching this dance. So, you know, we're always kind of watching the play, the dance. In yoga, we call it the lila, this great divine play expressing itself on the world stage. So how do you feel it churning, spinning through your own body as you release one heel, bending the opposite knee? And really, you know, I don't know if you're all in Massachusetts, but it's raining here, and the rain reminds us of our fluid body, and there's nothing more delicious than the fluid body. So drinking in the ujjayi and spinning and rolling, you know, all the fluids in your body are different. Some are dense and heavy and rich and dark, and some are very light and bright. So move through them all, or move through what you can feel as you go side to side here. And again, the side to side, what do you notice about your left side body? What do you notice about your right side body? And then when you feel complete, come into stillness, bend your knees, draw the tops of your thighs back as you bend your knees a lot, track your knees right over your toes, reach your tail back and up, and draw your belly pit in and up. Good, and then stepping your big toes together, come forward into plank and bring your right knee into you. So you're in plank, you're not rounding your spine, you're just curling your right knee in. Good, and then step back, downward facing dog. And then do that again, come into plank, draw your left knee in. And then come back into downward dog. Good, inhale, lift your heels up. Belly pit comes in and up as you slowly lower your knees. Come up, knee standing. Bring the backs of your hands to the back of your pelvis and then press. So you're giving your hands, you know, we're always expanding, condensing, always coming out, coming in. This is the practice of the balancing. So bring the backs of the hands to the backs of your pelvis and wrap your pelvic calves internally so that down at the bottom of the pelvic calf bones, those two pubic bones squeeze into the disc between them, and the disc slips back into your body. As that happens, belly pit's coming in and up, and I'd like you just to rest back into a little baby Ustrasana. Notice if you start to push forward, and instead let yourself rest, avoiding the tendency to push forward through your ribs, solar plexus, or groins. Just rest back a moment. It's an active resting back. Can we be active and responsible and, you know, kind of bring some change without burning ourselves out? Rest back just a bit more. Lift the base of your skull. Lift your jaw joints up to the base, to the top of your skull. Good, and then come up. And hands to earth. And again, exhale, downward facing dog. Step your big toes together again. Glide forward through plank. You can always lower the left knee and just glide forward through a table and bring your right knee in. Give it a nice little squeeze and then step it up between your hands. Lower your left knee and top of the foot. This is a great place to grab your blocks. So I'll just use the blocks so you can see. Hands up on blocks, and you're going to walk your hands back so they're a little closer towards the sides of your pelvic calves, and allow yourself to sit down. Now, when I say allow yourself to sit down, it means only do it if your body wants it. If your body would like to sit into a low lunge, try it out. If your body says, this is not for me, you come up to a higher, more boxy lunge. Of course, if your back knee needs a blanket under it, take one. Now scoop your right sitting bone under, tether it down to the right second toe ball, and push that right leg and foot down and away from you more. Sit down a little deeper. As you press the two legs and feet down and away from each other, draw your inner thighs up. So we are allowing a deep, low lunge. Now, you could even sit down a little lower. right? So this is pretty low for me, but you could go down this low. You can let your knee go past your ankle if it's okay on your body. But be mindful not to collapse through this back left groin. So you want to draw it into a little bit, hollow your groin by wrapping that pelvic calf forward. Good, one more breath here. And as you exhale, bring your hands down. You're coming into either table or plank and moving through Chaturanga Dandasana, knees down or up as you like. Pull yourself through an upward facing dog. You can modify it by keeping the knees down. Do hollow your groins back into you as you pulse your pubic bones into the disc between them. Open your jaw up at the top here. Lift your jaw joints straight up to the top of your head. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Right? So you see, we go out, we go in, we go out, we go in. Draw your big toes together again. And either coming down on your knees or staying in plank, slip the left knee forward and then step it up between your hands. Lower right knee, top of the foot. Come find your blocks. Option, of course, right? And then sitting down into this low, deep Anjaneyasana. So as we look for balance, how do you sit down really deeply but not collapse? Right? And it's all the yield and push. It's the currenting up through the arches of your feet, your inner thighs, your pelvic floor. It's the drawing in. This is another bandha. Your belly is another bandha. Draw the belly, the small intestine and the mesentery. You undulate it back towards your back abdominal wall. You're still with Ujjayi Pranayam. And as you're ready, you'll exhale, come forward. And again, you're either slipping into table or plank. Knees are down or lifted. Hug your upper arms into you. Keep your pointer fingers grounded. Chaturanga Dandasana. Pull yourself through with a nice gift of the inhale. And push yourself back, downward facing dog. Good. Now, from downward dog, we're going to try to find a little Uddiyana Bandha. We had workshopped it a little last week, and I'll show it again for anyone who wasn't here. You're going to exhale your breath all the way to empty. And then in the empty space, you keep the breath held out. You're going to draw the whole sack of organs. You're going to suction them back in and up. So I'm going to show it in downward dog. Last week, I showed it standing. I'm going to show it in down dog in case it's new for you. Otherwise, you're just going to do it. And then when you need to, you release it and take a normal, easy breath. So here's what it looks like in down dog. Right, and then I release it and I take a full breath. So wherever you are, if you've already done one, we're going to do another one. Stay in down dog. You're going to inhale. Exhale all the way to empty. Keep your breath held out. And then drawing the whole sack of organs, draw them suctioning towards your back abdominal wall and up. The ribs are widening, the diaphragm is raised. And then as soon as you need to, you let it go and easy breath. And we're going to do one last one, and we're going to use it to help us walk or hop our feet up to our hands. Okay, so one more time, receiving your inhale. Exhale all the way to empty. You follow it to involution. You pause that empty space. You find the suctioning back in and up. You keep it, and then you walk or hop your feet to your hands. When you get there, now you push down, wave out, inhale, bow, exhale. Push down, slide hands up to the tops of your thighs. Now stay here, halfway up, right? We're in between. We're in that place of sattva guna. We're not in rajas, we're not in tamas, we're in between solar and lunar. So looking down, really feel your spine like a bungee cord here, getting a little taut. And then you can press your hands and thighs into each other. Sitting bones current down as you press and you drive your legs and feet earthward. Belly pit comes up, but tail keeps reaching back behind you. Good. Now, from the depth of your lungs, the lung, airy, buoyant breath, float your arms out to the sides. You should be able to see them in your peripheral vision. And then go down into the earth more and inhale, come all the way up. Without pushing forward, just stand straight up, reach up for a moment, feel what it is to reach. And as you exhale, push your hands together, slide down, touch your crown, your third eye, and your heart. So focusing on the Ujjayi as we move through a Surya Namaskar B. Depth of breath floats you out, open and up. Sorry, I went to do the other Surya. Let's go back. Exhale, release your arms. Anjali Mudra. I went to bring us into classical, but that's not where we're going. All right, stay right here. Anjali Mudra. Oh, and by the way, when we're working with focusing on the balancing and the awakening of the nadis, you want to feel the bandhas. So feel the arches of your feet rise. That currents up the inner legs, pelvic floor rises. This whole belly is a bandha. Small intestine, mesentery comes back. All the way up at the top, the soft palate, the cave of your mouth is a bandha. It rises up just like the arches of your feet. Hands, palms, they're bandhas too. Good, now exhale, slide down, longer, deeper release of the exhale. Inhale, reach out, open and up. Long release of the exhale, pour forward, Uttanasana. Your choice. You're going to jump to Chaturanga Dandasana or walk back to plank and lower yourself down. Pull yourself through, upward facing dog, lift the base of your skull, keep pushing hands through the tail, and a nice long exhale to push you back. You stay with that exhale, spinning your left heel in front of your right toes, stepping up. And if you need an extra breath, no problem, take it. But the next inhale brings you up. Now we're gonna stay here in Virabhadrasana 1. Hook your right thumb in front of your left and try to pull them apart. As you try to pull them apart, slide your shoulder blades down. Good, sit down just a little lower, but slide up a little higher. Next exhale, arms out to the sides. Spin the back heel up, wrap that left pelvic half internally, hollow your groin there, and slip into table or plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha. Now again, see if you can try this. One long exhale into down dog, spin, step up, and inhale, rise. It means you have to work with breath retention. Hook your left thumb in front of right, try to pull them apart, or if you're not able to straighten your arms and do this, just keep them straight and unhook. So the reason that we work with that longer exhaling breath and then the retention, the kumbhaka, holding the breath out and staying in the space is, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is what it does for the stimulation, the tone of the parasympathetic nervous system, creating that relaxation response, coming out of the stress loop. And exhale, arms out to the side, spin the back heel up, belly pit jaws in and up as you come down, table or plank, Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. So let's try that Uddiyana Bandha again, and we're going to use it to walk or hop our feet back up. So when you're ready, follow that exhale all the way to empty. Breathing diaphragm rises, ribs are a little bit wide. You're drawing everything from muscle to fat to organ to fluid to space. You're drawing it all in and up. And then you'll use that to walk or hop up. And when you get there, you let it go, you slide your hands up your shins, then you inhale. Bow, exhaling. Sit down and rise, Utkatasana. And push yourself to come up. So you push down to come up, Samastitihi. All right, let's try that again. And same thing, see if you can really give a little extra attention to that long exhale, waiting in the space after it. See what it does. One of the reasons the sun salutations are so healing is because it's directly affecting the balancing of the peripheral nervous system. Central as well. But all right, Anjali Mudra. Feel in your Tadasana the alignment of your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, head buoyantly floating up from there. Diaphragms rising as the bones descend down. Exhale, long, slow, sit. Make an offering, but don't collapse your belly down. And inhale, Utkatasana. Again, long exhale. You push off, Uttanasana. Your choice, walking or jumping back on the exhale. If you walked, you'll lower yourself down, pull yourself through. Now let's try it again. This long exhale, push yourself back, spin, step. No problem if you need to add extra breath. And inhale, rise. Stay here, sit down a little lower into that exhale. And we're gonna try it again. So that's this long exhale. Take your inhale here. One long exhale brings you down, swoops you through Chaturanga, and then inhale, upward facing dog. And here's an opportunity again. Long exhale, down dog. Stay with it, spin, step, inhale, rise. Sit down for the exhale. Here's an opportunity to kind of, if that was a lot for you, to just sit in Vira 1 and, okay, here I go again. I can breathe a few rounds of Ujjayi without retention. If holding your breath like we're doing causes any agitation or lightheadedness, anything uncomfortable, just stop doing it and add breath. Add extra breaths instead. If you're going okay, nice long exhale to bring it down and through. Come on up. And push back, Adho Mukha. Breathing, luxurious, even and steady breaths in down dog, or you can rest in child's. See if you can regulate the length of the in and out breath here, because this is a resting pose. So to help you regulate, let's try a round of the 5-5 count breath here together. So follow your next breath just to an easy exhale. And inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Let it go, just normal breath. And the next exhale, go ahead and follow it all the way to empty. Look for that Uddiyana Bandha. And walk or hop up. let it go. Let the Uddiyana go, but don't just spill out in your belly. Keep the belly pit. Wave out, bow back down. Sit down nice and low. Inhale, Utkatasana. What are the arches of your feet doing? And exhale, Samastitihi. All right, we're going to take one more round and add in a couple more standing postures. So should be all pretty familiar. It's nothing too new for the standing postures that we'll add. So again, alignment, feel ankle joints, knee joints, hip joints, shoulder joints, right? I don't have my hips forward. We're all in one stack, for lack of a better word, but one, if like there was a pole here leaning against us, it just goes from the earth to the sky without being on a diagonal. Bones root for clarity and grounding. Diaphragms rise to contain prana, to move the prana through the nadis, especially getting into the central channel, where there is clarity and radiance and awakened expression of being. Let yourself rest there. Exhale, long exhale, slide it down. Make your offering and inhale, Utkatasana. Long exhale, take it over. Your choice, walking and lowering down or jumping back. Pull yourself through, and here we go again. Long exhale, spin, step, push down into the earth, and inhale, rise. Now stay here. Gomukhasana arms. Bring your right arm down and reach your hand up your back. Drop your left arm with elbow reaching up. I'll show you from behind. So you're holding either space, your shirt, or your hands. If you can hold your shirt or your hands, keep pulling them apart. So this action of pull, the action of push, the action of reach, the action of containment in the bandhas, it's all such an important part of how we work with our subtle body, the nadis, the prana flowing through like thousands of rivers running through us. Good, now release the Gomukhasana arms. Push down and straighten that right leg, reaching up. Now lift the belly pit in and up and slide up a little higher, and then spin open and exhale, sit down, Virabhadrasana 2. And in theme with this left and right side bodies, we're gonna dance a little here. So dance through an extended side angle going the opposite way first, and then exhale the way we might normally do it, but keep your arms in motion. Inhale, a little reverse like we would in an aspiring warrior. And exhale, something that looks a little more like an extended side angle. Again, inhale. What does it feel like energetically, vibrationally to go side to side? Matched, of course, with your breath. Now, the next time that you move into the aspiring warrior aspect, slip that left arm behind you. Roll your lungs up towards the sky. As you do that, rest your heart back into the cradle of your lungs. Lift the base of your skull up a bit. And then we're coming into Trikonasana. So you know all these poses. Bend that left knee a little bit. Drive that leg down into the earth. Push down through both. Draw your belly pit in and up and feel the spiral move through your core as you land into Trikonasana. So that bottom right hand could be on your shin, on a block, on a chair. Left arm is reaching straight up. Keep pushing from your feet through to your crown. Using that long exhale, little tone to the lunar, the Ida. And now we're gonna, again, try that exploration of letting one long exhale take us down and through. So when you're ready, with your next exhale, turn down, hollow that left groin, chaturanga. Pull yourself through and push yourself back, down dog. Resting is fine. This is a very mixed level class, and everybody's at a different place, so take your time. And then we'll do the same thing. So follow an exhale all the way to empty, spin through the right, step up the left, inhale, rise. Gomukhasana arms, the right elbow will reach up this time. Left hand comes down. And again, I'll just show you from behind. So right elbow up, left elbow down, holding your shirt or space or your hands. If you're holding to something, engage in the action of pulling the hands apart from one another. Keep drawing the belly pit in and up. By the way, that front left heel would draw a line straight back and meet into the middle of your back foot arch, right? So the front left heel to the middle of the arch in the back foot. Good, now push down, inhale, straighten, reach up. Feel the slide up through the pleura, the liquid membranes that wrap your lungs. Slide up through the core of you. Slide up through that Sushumna Nadi, this channel in the innermost chambers of your spine. And of course, there's layers to the Sushumna. Slide up through that tube of radiance and then spin it open, exhale, warrior two. And check it out, same thing, that front heel should still draw a line and meet the middle of the back foot arch. That's always the case in these standing postures. And then move with your breath. Inhale, a little reverse, and exhale, something that looks more like Utthita Parshva Konasana. Inhale, a little reverse, and exhale, bring it over. Notice your side bodies as you move. Rightward and leftward. Main focus, right? Like the guest of honor is the Ujjayi pranayama. So never let your breath get ragged. And if it gets ragged, stop what you're doing physically and rest so that you can regain and re-honor the main guest, right? The VIP, Ujjayi pranayama. Next time you arc it, you're gonna wrap that right hand behind you and then roll your lungs up. As you roll your lungs up, tether the stem of your breathing diaphragm to your tail and really rest your heart back. Lift the base of your skull, even steady breath. Push off from the back foot. Feel the spiral move through the central channel within your spine and come into Trikonasana. Regulate the in and out cycles of breath, lunar and solar. Shoulders soft, collarbones wide. How do you hold your head up? You push from your feet through to your crown. And you slip your hyoid bone back in and up. And then get ready, it's another opportunity. Long exhale, take it down. Don't collapse through the right front groin. And chaturanga. Keep your pointer fingers rooted. Pull yourself through. Push yourself back. Regulate your breath here. So in downward dog, take a couple rounds of the 5-5 count breath. On your own, your rhythm. And when you're ready, you'll let the 5-5 count breathing go and just be in the echo of a harmonic ujjayi. Because even when you let something go, the vibrations of that something keep reverberating through you. And that's sometimes a great thing and sometimes a really hard thing. You know, when you're trying to let go of something difficult, you can feel like the difficult energy still vibrating through your body, because this is how energy works. It's alive, it's multidimensional. And that's what we're essentially doing in asana, in pranayama, is we're working with energy. We're moving prana, life force, in all different ways. Now exhale all the way to empty. Involute, Uddiyana Bandha, and walk or hop up. Let it go, wave out, inhale. Long exhale, find a little compression, bend your knees enough in Uttanasana that you can let your front body touch your thighs while still really pushing feet through the head. And then sit down, Utkatasana, and push down to rise, Samastitihi. Good. You might want your blocks for this next one, or a chair or a wall. It's Parshvottanasana. Great posture after the sun salutation. So come back again to your steady mountain and to Anjali Mudra. Because here's the thing about Anjali Mudra, is in this hand mudra that we do all the time, we're making an offering, right? We're offering forward a measurement of something, but it's a bowing, it's an offering. And with all this technique of moving, manipulating, forcing energies in different ways, we also need a surrender. So the moment we bring our hands together and we bow, there's this aspect of kind of giving it all up, giving it all over, surrendering, and stop trying to control and shape everything. So pause in that. When you're ready, exhale, sit. Utkatasana. Go down through your right side body, up through the core, and lift your left knee. Now reach it back behind you, just like we did in the sunbird. Your toes and knee are pointing down. Crown and tail reaching away from each other. Feel the wrap of the pelvic halves, the groins hollow, belly pit in and up. It is warrior 3, but your hands are in this Anjali. Good, now reach the foot back. So your 2 feet are about 3 feet apart from each other. Spin that back heel so that you come to a 45-degree angle. Bend both knees, and then press both legs and feet down and away from each other, straightening your legs, and inhale, reach up. Exhale as though you're swimming breaststroke style. Hold your elbows behind you, or slip into a Anjali Mudra, a little prayer, back behind your heart. I love coming into this reverse Anjali Mudra and sliding my hands. I feel like I can touch the back of my heart. And it's such a good feeling because, you know, there's a lot of pain. We all carry a lot of pain and grief. So we want to touch our hearts in every direction possible. Now slide up. Slide up. You've got a ligament in the front and in the back of the weight-bearing bodies of your vertebral column. And ligament has a very clear, bright directional movement. So slide it up and rest it back. Without pushing your heart forward, rest back. You can lift your manubrium a little, this very top portion of your sternum, but don't thrust forward. if you can help it. Now lift the base of your skull, come up to neutral, draw your belly pit into you, and then draw the low, whole pelvic belly into you. And exhale, come forward. Now you can keep your hands behind you. I'm gonna bring my hands down to my blocks, or hands to chair, or to a wall. Now your hips might be going off to the right a little. See if you can bring them more to the middle of your mat. Inhale, wave your spine out like you would in a sun salutation. And then a long exhale, you're bowing over it. The bow forward wants to be an unbroken, graceful arc of a rainbow. So if you're coming into a deep flexion, don't let any part of your spine jut back behind you. Right? When going forward, we go forward. Stay rooted through the right big toe ball. And this is a nice opportunity to, again, kind of regulate out your breath. So 1 or 2 rounds of the 5-5 count breath. When you're ready to let go of the 5-5 count breath, go ahead and let it go. Bring your left hand to the inside of your right foot, and then push down and spin through your lungs and your ribs. Reach your right arm up. So it's a gorgeous spinning, this big spin of a revolved triangle, a peririta trikonasana, big internal spin. Again, really nice for those nadis in their cleansing and squeezing and releasing and awakening. Keep spinning through from the inside out. Keep your left heel grounded if you can. Right big toe ball grounded. Squeeze your inner thighs a little bit, in and up. And then pubic bones into the disc slips into you. Good, and then take it down, exhale. Spin the back heel up and step up. Wave out, inhale. Bow, exhale. Push down, reach crown and tail away so that bungee cord, long spine, come all the way up. And slide down, touch your crown, your third eye, and your heart. Steady mountain, bandha's awake, alive. Slide down into the prep for Utkatasana. Draw your belly pit in and up, go down through the left, rise through the central channel with clarity and bring your right up. Balancing, tilting forward, right leg goes back, toes and knee point down. You want to feel a clarity of the pelvic halves wrapping in like you've just put on a big, cozy, tight-fitting zip-up hoodie. You put it on, it wraps around you tightly, and then you zip it up. And that zipping up is the central channel. So central channel core, whether it's emptiness, fullness, or radiance, it's in there. There's something in there. And really, I mean, for me, the place and the time that I touch into it most deeply is when I'm sitting in a long meditation. Much easier when I'm in India, I have to say. And then reach the foot back. So the feet are about 3 feet apart from each other. That back foot is on a 45-degree angle. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, breaststroke through the water. Hold your elbows or reverse prayer. And you know what? We can actually tap into that radiance in the central channel anytime, right? There are, of course, external environmental things that make it easier, but like right here, right now, bend your knees, go down, and then as you press your legs, feet down and away from you, and you draw the perineum up, and you slide up. Imagine that you're sliding up through the innermost energetic channel within your spinal cord. Feel that part of you slide up. You can go there anytime. And then that part rests back. And when you initiate the resting back through that centermost place in your spine, it changes the consciousness, it changes the quality of what you can feel. So resting back from the radiance of you. And then lifting base of skull, come on up neutral. Keep pressing legs and feet down and away from each other. Belly pit comes in. Low belly, like the flesh of you, the fat, the fluids, the organs, scoop them into you. And maybe lowering hands to the wall, to the chair, to the blocks. Hips might go off to the left, but try to bring them a little more central. Bowing forward. Any amount. It's also okay to stay with a neutral spine. You don't have to come over it if you have restriction or pain in the hamstrings, or if flexion isn't good for your spine. 1 or 2 rounds of the 5-5 count breath. And then bring your right hand block to the inside of your left foot, letting go of the 5-5 count. Pressing legs, feet down and away from each other again. Feel your pubic bone squeeze into the disc. Disc comes into you, and then reach your tail back. You're really slicing through the pelvic halves, and then the spin develops up your torso. So through the whole of your ribs, your lungs, and you keep reaching your crown and your tail. You know, the spine spins a little bit, but it's mostly the periphery rolling you, and the spine just keeps elongating and shining its grace, right? There's this light of glory in the core of all beings, and I mean all beings, even the ones that we feel are doing things that are really wrong. They too have a grace of core, a core of grace. They just might be disconnected from it. And so we pray for people. We visualize people and leaders coming into right relationship with truth and love and the center core of radiance. That's a balanced nervous system. Good. And then when you feel ready, exhale, turn down, spin the back heel up, step up. Wave out, inhaling. Bow, exhale. Slide out again, inhale. Bow, walk back to plank. And as you exhale, lower all the way down to your front body. So coming all the way down, front body. Just gonna adjust the camera again. Draw your big toes together and your legs together. And feel, notice, sense what it is to rest on your front body. And then interlacing your hands, your fingers behind you, or holding onto a strap. Slide your hands past your tail. Feel and do. Squeeze the pubic bones into the disc. Disc slips in. Sacrum nods towards your pubic disc and your belly pit. And you rise, Shalabhasana. Everything is up off the floor. Yes, you're touching the earth, but you're rising. So we're doing a little counter pose, right? A lot of what we're doing in yoga asana, pose, counter pose, go in, go out, forward bend, backward bend, residing in the neutrality, the center of our being, in which we sometimes call in yogic philosophy the sattva guna, where you are awake, alive, alert, ready for action, but totally at peace. Stay up, 2 more breaths. Touch the tip of the tongue to the hard palate behind your top teeth. Good. And exhale, forehead to the earth. Hands by the sides of your chest. Push yourself up through cobra. And a little counter, pull back, child's pose. Knees together this time. The first one we did in the beginning of class was a more active solar expression. Now, towards winding down, the knees are together. We're in a lunar expression. One more full breath. And then walk your hands far away, as far as you can. Take your tippy fingers to the earth. Lift the bandhas of your armpits, the bandhas of your hands. Push the tops of the feet, shins and knees into the earth and rise into Parmanasana. Grab your blanket or blankets to sit on. And make sure that you're sitting up high enough so that you don't have the top rim of your pelvis drop back. Okay, so top rim of pelvis needs to be neutral, not dropping back. You're gonna come into a version of Ardha Matsyendrasana. So bend your left knee in, right foot comes either out in front of you, crossed over your left knee, or over across your leg. The one that you choose is based on whether you can keep your right big toe ball grounded or not. So you need to stay really grounded through the right big toe ball. As you inhale, slide up through that radiant core of your being, and exhale, spin. You're wrapping the left arm around the right leg, or spin a little more and press the back of the left arm to the back of the right leg. Now, inhale, slide up, and exhale, spin. 3 more breaths. Keep pushing the right fingertips down into the earth. Let them come more from your right side body rather than back around behind you. Mindful not to let your spine collapse or the top rim of your pelvis to drop back. Good. When you're ready, inhale, slide up, unspin, lean back here, and simple Navasana. So for Navasana, you can just lift your heels up or you can straighten your arms. And for a little bit more pranic containment, a little like a mini Yoga Mudrasana, you're going to take your peace fingers, your first 2 fingers are on your big toe, and then touch your thumb and your index finger together like a Gyan Mudra, and then straighten your legs. So you're pressing. Now, if this is too much for you, you can do it with bent knees, because it's nice to have this Gyan Mudra down at the feet here. So you can bend the knees and straighten if it's right for you. Drop your shoulders. Steady, easy breath. Good, and then let go of the hand mudra and just open your arms and come in and out a couple times. So draw it in, little lunar. Take it out, a little solar. Move with the fluidity of ease. Good, and the next time you draw it in, stay up, bring your right leg to bend, left foot to the floor, to the left side of the right leg, out in front of the knee or crossed over. Again, you look to root the big toe ball. You only cross all the way over if you can stay rooted. Check out your top rim of pelvis, not letting it collapse back at all. Pushing from that left foot through to your crown. You take a simple spiral, wrapping your arm, or lean back, take the whole sack of stuff you got here, your beautiful body, and take the back of the arm to the back of the leg. Left fingertips yield and push from the left side of your body. And a couple breaths here. Notice the qualities of the solar inhaling, expanding, lunar exhaling, condensing. Good, when you're ready, inhale, rise up, unspin, uncross, and again, Navasana, and it can be your choice, the way you'd like to take your Navasana, either with that hand mudra. See, I'm using the hand mudra and I'm holding my toes and I'm yielding and pushing toes and hands, but I'm keeping my knees a little bit bent because I don't have the flexibility in the hamstrings. But what I don't want to do is round my back, right? It's more important that I keep the integrity of spine than it is I straighten my legs. And then let go, and again, just expand and condense 3 times. Opening it up and pulling it in. You can round a little when you come in. Good, and come up right. Bring yourself again as high as you need to. And you're gonna come into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, heels close to your pelvic floor. We're going to take Nadi Shodhana only 4 rounds, so it's not a long time. You take Vishnu Mudra. I'm always trying to find, like, where can you see? Can you see? So thumb up, pointer middle down, ring and pinky up. Okay, alternate nostril breathing. Bring your thumb and your ring finger to the bridge of your nose. Keep your spine in its integrity of alignment. Head stays in the center, hand comes to head. Exhale through both nostrils. Use your thumb to close off the right and inhale deeply through the left. Block, pause, hold the left, and exhale through the right. Inhaling through the right. Block, pause, hold, and exhale through the left. That completes 1 round. Inhaling left. Block, pause, hold, exhale right. Inhaling right. Block, pause, hold, exhale left. Take 1 or 2 more rounds, depending on how this is going for you, on your own. When you're ready, release it and just notice. And then draw your inner thighs up towards your pelvic floor to bring your knees together. Come to the top of your mat and take a nice slow roll to come down. Now you have a choice. You can come right into Shavasana or slip a block under the back of your pelvis at any height for either a restorative bridge or a Viparita Karani. So if you're coming to the bridge with the block under you, or the Viparita Karani with the block under you and the legs straight up, feet to the sky, I'm showing it up here. Wherever you are, you'll be in it and count very slowly, 10 breaths. Anyone who's a well-versed shoulder stand practitioner can do that instead. And those of you who are already in Shavasana, please fully release any control of shaping or manipulating your breath or your body. And those of you who are counting, when you're finished, you'll make your way into Shavasana. It'll be a shorter one, but you'll take hopefully another one later in the day. I'm a big fan of a couple Shavasanas a day. So settling. Again, the importance of letting go of the shaping and the controlling and finding the state of surrender, the quality, the vibration of surrender. And as you feel ready, notice which nostril is more open or more clear, or if both nostrils are the same. So we can learn a lot about ourselves from watching if the left or the right, or if it's the same on both sides, is more open or more clogged. It gives some insight into what's going on energetically in the nadis, in the subtle energy body. So you can just watch, right? Right now, if both channels are open, might be a good time to meditate. Right now, if you feel like just the right side is open, might be because the solar energy is more active in you, because the Ida and Pingala kind of take turns with being more active or activated. And then there's this settling into harmony where the whole system is in a state of equilibrium. And you experience equanimity, more peace when you're in that place. So, coming to your seat of your comfort, whatever it may be, let's close with a chant of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, one Om, three Shantis. Exhaling all the way to empty and inhaling. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you for coming this morning on a rainy day and practicing together.